Hi there, my name's Matt Doig. I've worked in general practice for just over 10 years now, and the last 3 or 4 years have particularly been working independently with lots of practices, helping them with QOF, recall systems, management, all sorts of things. I just want to give you a quick tour of QOF spreadsheet and some QOF reports and things that we're offering as a package. At the moment, this is still set for last financial year because, of course, System 1 isn't yet updated to reflect the new rules. When it is, we'll provide an update, of course. So this spreadsheet is a really useful tool for managing QOF. I've sort of developed it myself to use as with practices I was helping to manage or helping with their QOF, and now quite a lot of practices use it. So essentially what it does, there's a button to click to update the analysis. You copy and paste some data from System 1, and then it does it all for you, works it out. And it works out for each thing, let's pick asthma, how many of you have achieved, total are missing, and percentage achieved. That's what System 1 will tell you anyway. But then it works out the kind of numbers you might be more interested in. So for example, if you wanted to start earning some actual money, how many more reviews do you need? How many more reviews do you need to maximize the income? Where are you up to against where you'd expect to be at this time in the financial year? So it looks at when it was last updated and works it out, and this practice is a bit behind. It shows the points achieved, what's available, and again other useful figures like how many pounds could be earned per patient and how much is there still to earn. If you're a practice manager, or indeed if you're a GP, you've probably had the headache of trying to motivate colleagues who don't really get the point, and sometimes this is quite helpful. You've also got on here stuff about your prevalence, so it pulls data from that to work out, take your practice register, your prevalence. System 1 gives you some of this, but I found System 1's data is out of date and lacking in places, so this is the most recent nationally available data. Tells you where you are, so shows you kind of the areas where you're quite significantly below what you'd expect, and also where you're above, and then also shows you what each new diagnosis could earn. So dementia, for example, one new diagnosis of dementia could potentially earn you £124, assuming you also review that patient. Plus, of course, it's good for patient care. And then there's some instructions about how to do it as well. So that's one part of it, and this becomes really useful. One practice I worked with last year said they were running it every day for a period to make sure they're keeping up with things. Then the other part of what we're offering is reports. So a mix of things here. Some of it's about improving prevalence and case finding, like missing CKD diagnoses. Some of it's kind of quick wins for the end of the year if you're struggling. So for example, these can be patients who were missing CHD 005. If they get aspirin over the counter, then that achieves the target, but you have to code that. And this shows patients who've been coded previously, who any admin team member can call, just talk that through, and if they're still getting it, add that code. There's other areas that are perhaps bigger headaches, like depression. As you probably know if you've done much with QOF, that getting the coding right for that seems to be a complete nightmare. You often get patients who are coded with new episodes of depression when they've had it for donkey's years. So at the moment these figures are really low for this practice because we're in July. Towards the end of the year, for some practices those figures can be very high. The other thing that we're offering as well is some QOF views I've developed. Again, that's come out of me trying to do this work for practices where you're hunting around in notes to see what's going on. So for example, the depression view shows all the kind of diagnoses of depression, the depression review codes. It shows the last couple of years of depression medication, which quickly shows if it is ongoing. It shows you journal entries where that's been discussed, where there are keywords like depression and review, and it massively speeds up the work. People have asked about the cost, so we're charging £300 for all of this, which will include updating this spreadsheet when the new rules come out, and includes all those reports. I mean, to be honest, an afternoon's work with these, and it should easily pay for itself. So if we look at missing cancer reviews, those can be £40 each. Sometimes practices struggle to find any patients for the CVD register, so even just finding one patient can be worth £600 for this practice. So there's a report that identifies a patient, again, at this stage in the year it's not many, but one who's been has a new diagnosis of hypertension, not on a statin, no risk recorded. So it's just stuff to kind of work through and sort those things out. Other bits are grouped together, so like flu-lac targets. Common issue I found is that practices can have a vaccine letter to say that a patient's been vaccinated, but it's not been achieved because no one's coded it, and that can be useful. Similar for blood pressure targets, respiratory case finding, lots of bits and pieces. So these things together can be really effective at increasing prevalence. It's a good time of year to do some work on that if you've got the time, and to help hit these targets. And like I said, it's both good value for money and good for patient care. Any questions, give us a shout. You can order it online through our website or message us or whatever you want to do.